I want everyone watching this video not to regret making the investments or the improvements in their homes. So we're gonna talk about things to avoid. I'm gonna tell you about my own personal experience, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of hints as to some things I would definitely invest in when you first purchase your home. Let's get into it. The first regret I really wish I would have invested in before I even moved into my property was to get my house tented. We have termites out in my area. I got a clean termite report, but there's no way my house was clean. They probably patched up the dry rot and blew out the termites, because you won't believe how many termites I have. And it is a royal pain in the neck to get your house tinted. Not only do you kill all your plants, not only do you have toxins in your house, but you got to remove all your food. And now you hear something about removing your mattresses and all the stuff. And you got to live somewhere for 3 days and your dog. And oh my gosh, what a nightmare. So if you are moving into a property and there's any evidence of termites, I highly suggest you get your house tented and have the dang cellar tented. And if you are a seller, like I'm telling you, this is not an unreasonable request. It's better to do your house tenting, especially if it's an older home, before you move in. On every pest control report, there's a primary and a secondary recommendation. The primary recommendation is usually always tenting, always. And the secondary recommendation is some like spot treatment. Now, most home sellers want to do the spot treatment. And I'm telling you right now, if you're buying a home, tent your home. It's worth the investment. Even if your seller won't cover it, I highly suggest you do. And I know a lot of you are worried about some of the toxins and some of the dangers of tenting your home. I'm just telling you right now, if you knew what I'm going through right now, it's a very toxic environment when I have to move all my family and all my food and all my stuff out of the house. I'm very toxic right now. I am not happy. Like these little suckers are like just dropping on the ground. It's awful. I hate them. It's gross. It's nasty. Tent your house, make the investment. I know it's hard to pay huge price tag for tenting, but it's worth it. Trust me on it. My second biggest regret, oh, this makes me so upset, is I wish I would have repiped my house before I moved into the home. 2 reasons. Number one, it's obviously very invasive and it's a pain in the neck. The second thing is it's extremely expensive. So if I would have had my house repiped before I moved in, would have been half the cost. But now COVID and inflation, and now it's double the cost. I just got a quote. It's $33,000 to get my house repiped. And I know some of you are like, wow, where does she live? That's outrageous. Is she rich? I'm in Orange County, California. We have like Beverly Hills pricing. It's ridiculous. But it makes you think. I got all caught up into designing. I love to design homes. It's one of my favorite things to do. If I won the lottery, all I would do is just decorate homes. That's how much I love it. I don't love doing termite clearance, and I don't love doing pinhole leaks, and I don't like any repipes. I don't like that. I want to make things look pretty. So I took my money and I invested in making my house look pretty. So I have my hardwood floors. I have, my entire kitchen, all my bathrooms, and everything's super duper. And I put the most beautiful wall treatments on my walls. This is one of the areas I spent a lot of money on. And I know a lot of you are like, that's ugly. Who puts wallpaper in their house? Mine is gorgeous. And it's just how I want to live. I love my wallpaper. Well, to get the house repiped, guess what? They got to cut holes in my wallpaper and I can't find it. And even if I could find it, it's not going to match. It's always these different dye lots. So I'm really torn. It was such a bad decision. And I know a lot of you are like, oh, we're not going to live here for very long. Trust me, people aren't moving as much as they once did. So if you have these major components on your property that probably need to be attended to, probably a better idea just to put up with the boring inside and make the investments with the termite and with the repipe. And if you are really stretching financially to make it into a home and you know there needs to be some of this work done, work with the seller, drop the price, or ask for a credit. I mean, we're in a different market right now, but this stuff is so important. Imagine having to get your house tented and repiped. And let's not forget, I have wood floors. So when there's a pinhole leak, they're going to destroy my floors. And I can't find the same wood because it's discontinued. Folks, there are some things you really should invest in before you move into the property, or you're going to regret it. So the third regret I have is I spent way too much money in my backyard. But with that said, it sort of makes sense because I live in California and we use our backyard all the time. Now, some of you are in different states and you don't get to use the great outdoors like we do. That would be a bad investment. But for my house, it makes sense because we do a lot of indoor-outdoor living, just kind of a selling feature in our area. However, where I made the mistake is I put a bocce ball in the backyard, bocce ball court. Like, I just like saying the word bocce ball. It's kind of a cool word, right? Bocce ball. Okay, guess how many times we played bocce ball? I kid you not. I don't think it's more than 5 times. I really don't. And when it rains, because now in California we get a lot of rain, the whole bocce ball court fills up. Oh my God. And it's like a swamp and it's a thing. And now I got to go work on the drainage. So when you are making these investments in your yard, like, get smart about it. Am I really going to use that bocce ball court? Probably not. Like, seriously, like, it's kind of boring, right? Like, who does that? And we had to dig into this hill. Oh my God. That is just like one of the worst investments I've made. That's stupid. Stupid. It's kind of romantic. It sounds good, but don't do those things. The other stupid investment I made, and I see a lot of homeowners doing it, is they take that trampoline. And I love trampolines. I actually bought a little one, but I bought a huge one when my son was younger, and I built it in, and I dug this deep hole, and I had drainage. It cost a fortune to dig out this big hole to put the trampoline. Oh my God, it was so cool, and I loved it. And I swear I'd probably use it today. But the cost that it required to get the manpower to dig the hole, and then when the buyers bought my home, you know what they did? They filled it in and put like a covered patio area. It was a complete waste of money. So unless you love your trampolines and it's very specific to maybe something you enjoy, then go for it. But just understand, you're probably not going to get your return on your investment. I have never in my entire career ever had a buyer say, I only want a house that has a built-in trampoline. I think I might make that request. They're so much fun. I really do miss that trampoline, but it's not a great investment. Since we're in the backyard, I can tell you that most homeowners regret installing a pool or buying a house with a pool, especially now with all these increased insurance costs, because your insurance premiums will go up if you have a pool. The maintenance is costly, and how often do you really use your pool? Now, some of you are out there telling me, oh, I use it all the time. All I'm telling you is you are the exception to the rule. When I'm selling homes that have pools, you won't believe all the problems that they have. Oh, it's just constant. The motor's breaking, the thing's leaking, the salt cartridge is not working, the pool has leaks, it's sideways. There's just a million things that go along with pools. And really, how often are you using your pool? So if you are considering investing in a pool, all I'm going to tell you is you're probably not going to get a great return on your investment. So really think it through. And for some of you that are like, this is just our lifestyle, we like it, great, you do you. But I think most of the people that have pools tell me they regret investing in it. So this next one really ruffles a lot of people's feathers, but there's a lot of homeowners that regret buying this. And that is that above ground spa. And for those of you who are watching my channel, you know, I hate that above ground spa because I think it's a waste of money. And I did do my research, right? It's like $10,000 to $50,000 for this big box that's sitting out in that backyard that's ugly and it spews out bubbles and hot water. You hop in it and you smell chlorine. It's got the ugly, dusty cover and you're sitting in there drinking your beverage of choice and smoking the cigar and, oh, honey, we're living the dream. No, you're not. You're in your backyard in a plastic jacuzzi. That's not living the dream. Oh my goodness. Now, where I see people really regretting making this purchase is when they go to sell their home. The buyer doesn't want it. They're like, ew, it's gross. We don't want a plastic thing in the backyard. And you're all connected. It's all wired in. And now you got to get rid of it. And what do? How do you get rid of it? You actually got to hire a junk removal person to go take it to the dump. So that is a huge investment, $10,000 to $50,000 for this plastic jacuzzi. Now, I know a lot of you have some health issues and you do it for that reason, but I'm just telling you, if you're doing it to, improve the value of your home, it's just not. And then, they're going to ask, why didn't you just put a spa in the in-ground ones? And you're going to say, well, it's too expensive. Well, yeah, it's kind of like a poor man's fix, And trust me, I'm not wealthy. I work 80, 90 hours a week. Like, I'm a working girl. I got to pay for myself. So every penny counts. And so I tell you this because I would prefer that you just sit in a hot bath and save $10,000 to $50,000 and maybe take that $10,000 to $50,000 and invest it in something that you'll get a return on your investment, such as a repipe or termite clearance. So I think that's a much better use of your money. Just saying. All right, quick infomercial. Folks, it has been one of the longest days ever. You would not believe what I went through today. Like, truly. After I'm done with this video, which it is 10:20 right now. I have to go clean a house because the cleaning lady didn't show up. So my goal is to educate America, and I want to take the power and put it back into the consumer's hands. You need to be educated on this stuff, and I'm here to help you. So please subscribe to my channel so I can keep this channel rolling. I'd forever be grateful. Let's get back into it. Another regret that I see a lot of homeowners making is their investment in solar panels, either purchasing it or leasing it. And when they go to sell their homes, it becomes a nightmare. So if you are investing in solar panels, I highly suggest that you can stay at the property long enough where you benefit from the savings. And that's usually between 7 and 10 years, depends on your usage. So if you are purchasing your panels outright, then, good for you. You have the money, do it. But usually you need to stay in the property 7 to 10 years just to make back the investment that you made. Depends, like I said, on a lot of different factors. And by the way, if you are purchasing those solar panels and you have a loan against it, if you go to sell your home, your buyer is going to expect for you to pay those in full. They don't want to take over your loan. Trust me, I do it every single day. And if you are leasing these solar panels, they can be tricky. I had this recent transaction where there was 2 types of leases on these solar panels, 2 different installation dates. And one was something you could pay off. The other one was just a complete rental. The company was Sunrun. It was very difficult to work with them. I don't like to poo-poo on any, solar company, but this was a nightmare. And so honestly, the buyer almost backed out because they didn't want to deal with the solar panel lease. It was so complicated. So if you are going to make an investment in solar, please, please, please make sure you understand when the break-even time is. And then also when you're leasing those solar panels, every single year, there's a bump up in that payment. Okay. They can increase it every single year. It's in your contract. Make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, because more than likely your buyer is not going to want to inherit that. And it can be a nightmare. There are so many home sellers right now that are regretting making that decision. Just be mindful of what you're getting yourself into. Now, I do have solar panels on my house. Yes, I purchased them outright. Next year, I'm breaking even. I'm so excited. I'm glad I did it. And I got a good contract. Yay, yay, yay. The downside that I see, and this has nothing really to do with this video, but ever since I got the solar panels, I'm like, just let the air conditioning run. What do I care? I got solar panels. It's free energy. Okay, no, it's not free energy. And there's a lot of environmental issues that we're faced with people using too much energy. So that's another downside. Just consider it. I think we all, whether you have solar panels or not, should be more mindful about trying to conserve energy. Okay, I'm done with my soapbox. Let's get back into it. Another regret homeowners make is they spend a fortune, and I mean a bloody fortune, on custom buildings. So they'll do like a custom build-in bookshelf. Like actually, I have mine right there. That was really expensive to do. See, I have them on either side. That was outrageously expensive. Okay, you have to have somebody that handcrafts the wood and the measurements. A lot of you spend a lot of money on those entertainment centers where you stick your TV and you close it up. Well, a lot of those things are no longer good because the TVs are so much bigger and they no longer, fit in the space. So you spend all this money, and when you go to sell your house, your buyer is going to be like, oh, that's going to cost me money to rip out because I got my Jumbotron that I need to stick up there and I just want something sleek. This looks old school. And I see a lot of you like who have put in these built-ins. It really leans in a certain style, whether it be Tuscan or farmhouse or whatever, and your buyer's kind of turned off. That is a very, very expensive investment. So I know there's a lot of home owners that regret making those investments, and I will show you one of the built-ins that I did. It was totally zany. It's not very neutral. I took all these old PO boxes and built them into this one area. What was I thinking? It cost a fortune. I don't think anybody's going to love it but me. So luckily, I'm not moving anytime soon. But if I were to do it again, would I have put those in my dining room? No. I still think it's cool, right? Yeah, I stick wine bottles in there and jewelry. And when I want to hide stuff, I stick them in those PO boxes. But I highly suggest that if you are going to do any built-ins, do it very simple and don't make it very, unique or too customized like I did. That was a really bad idea. I do like it though, but I guarantee you my buyer won't. They will not like that. They will rip it out. They're like, this lady's lost her marbles. And I may have. I've had some of my homeowners tell me,
oh, Audra, I should never have invested in that standalone bathtub. It's just so hard to clean. It's hard to get into.
Are you crazy? Those things are so stinking pretty. And in my area, we have these big, huge bathtubs, like gigantic bathtubs, and they're built in. And they have like this paneling on the front, and it's just huge. And it takes way too much space. I would love just to tear mine out and go stick a standalone standing tub where I can go look out. It's so pretty. And the best thing about standalone bathtubs is they create so much more space, and it's just a simple line. So I disagree with some of those homeowners that say they wish they would have never made the investment. I think it's a great investment. I don't think it's terribly expensive for the extra space it provides. It opens up the bathrooms. If you have a big clunking one like the one that I have, it's a behemoth of a tub. I hate it. But I will say this, the mistake and regret that I see a lot of homeowners making is they say, oh, I don't need these bathtubs. So they take out the bathtubs, they put the showers, and then when they go to sell their home, these buyers that have families are like, well, we need a bathtub because we have young ones. So don't get rid of all your bathtubs. I think that is a big regret for a lot of homeowners who have decided they don't like the bathtub. And for those of you who say, I don't like that standalone bathtub because it's difficult to wash, I've been in your houses. Let me tell you what's difficult to wash. Those chandeliers in your entryway, those things are nasty. They are dirty, and you don't seem to mind. So I wouldn't get too carried away with the ease of washing your bathtub. Get somebody else to clean it. I'm a little punchy today. I actually had a really good day. The biggest regret that I've made when I purchased this home, and I know a lot of homeowners do this also, is we move in and we just want to fix all the ugly things. We just don't like it. We can't live with it. So we have our budget and we kind of cheap on things. I know I did it in this house. I just couldn't handle the countertops and some of the floors. They were disgusting. It was Tuscan style gone bad. Nothing wrong with Tuscan style, but it was a rental and the house was just really beat up. I got a really good price for it. So I convinced myself and my husband, he's a sucker for this stuff, that I'm just going to spend a certain budget and I'm going to stay within those parameters, which I never do. So I bought a bunch of things I wish I didn't. I just wanted to get it all done before I moved into the house. I thought, well, I'm just going to replace it when I get the money. That is a really bad mindset because what a waste of money. And then the cost of labor was outrageous. And now I feel guilty replacing it. And I really hate some of the things that I've done because I've done them on a rush. Like even my, behemoth bathtub, I really wanted to just gut the whole thing and put a freestanding tub. But instead, I put this beautiful limestone countertop and I put these beautiful paneling on the side. Why did I do that? Because I was trying to save money and now all I want to do is rip it all out. That's terrible. In my opinion, move into the house for a year, see how you want to live, and really save your money for what you really want. Like do one room at a time. And by the way, I really want to change my countertops. I hate my countertop so bad. And my backsplash, I hate that stupid thing. And I want to put that Taj Mahal quartzite material on my countertops. It's beautiful. And I know, I owe you a video on countertops. I have not forgotten. I've just been super busy. I will do a video soon on countertops because I can't stop thinking about my own countertops that I want to install, okay, and reinstall. So please, 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 please don't have the regret of making too quick a decision and using inexpensive products just to get the look that you want, because the style will go out, but now you're stuck with poor quality. I think one of the biggest regrets homeowners make is that they just aren't well represented in their transaction and they're not doing the proper reports, and they move into the house and they're like, whoa, we didn't know that there's a sewer line issue. Oh my goodness. Or, wow, that tree over there is, falling down on the neighbors and we're having some plumbing issues. Like you need to do your due diligence when you're purchasing your home. You don't want to have any surprises. You should be working with an agent that can assist and walk you through all this. They should have an eye for this. They should be hand-holding you and telling you, hey, let's do this inspection. Let me read this report. And folks, you have to read your seller disclosures. And if you are in an HOA, read every stinking word in those CC&Rs. It is so important to know what you're buying. If you are looking for agents to interview, there's a link down below. I have a referral network. I'm happy to help. And I also have a free resource guide down below that can give you interview questions that you can interview these listing agents or these buyers agents. We also, in that bundle, have a home inspection checklist. We have a paint recommendation list. We have lighting, recommendations. It's free. I'm here to help you. All right, check the links down below. And I just want to say thanks so much for your support. If you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, I would forever be grateful. And I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.